All right, welcome to the hammer. In this video, you're going to learn how to develop that huge, cracking, flat serve that you can really use to ace your opponent, take control of the point, and just make serving a lot more fun. This is something I learned in a combination with Rick Macy and my buddy Tim Schneibly, who trained Sam Querrey. And what you're going to see in this video is a progression that's a step-by-step process of how to develop this serve and really get that flat serve going. Now, what you should know is each step in the progression is really key to develop before you go on to the next step. Okay, for example, if we started with the toss, if our toss wasn't in the right place, doing anything else is really going to make it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. So make sure as you go through this progression that you're watching each step along the way and practice that step until you feel pretty confident and pretty comfortable until you move on to the next step. As always, it's really about quality rather than quantity. So I don't want to say you got to do 40 repetitions of each step, but you should be, remember, you're building the muscle memory here. That's the whole purpose of these progressions. So spend enough time on each step so you're building that muscle memory and enjoy the process, because when you wake up 6 months down the road and you've been doing this every day or close to every day, you're going to notice huge results. All right, so let's jump right in and develop the hammer. See you soon. Okay, we've got our toss humming in the right direction. We got the throwing motion down. By the way, you never really get it down, so to speak. It's a process, and it's a fun process. So keep coming back to these videos and doing these exercises. That's how you really improve long term. I know you know that, but it's worth repeating. Okay, the first step in building a flat serve is to get a feel for leading with the edge of the racket. And a simple way to feel that is to simply tap the ball with the edge of your racket like this. You can do it over the net. This looks easy. You may find it challenging, and the added benefit of doing this drill is it really narrows your focus while getting a feel for leading with the edge of the racket, which prepares the pronation. So step 2 is to high five Chewbacca. And remember, Chewbacca was really tall, so you need to reach up there to reach his furry paw. And as we know, the best nation in the world, no matter where you're from, is pronation. And you may have heard this word, and it's just really a fancy word for turning your hand outward as you approach the ball. It naturally happens on every serve when you're relaxed. So to get a feel for this, just imagine that you're on the phone and then go up and high five Chewbacca like this. If you make good contact, you'll quickly notice how the ball really seems to explode off your racket. So do this step 20 times or until you're feeling happy and comfortable with your ability to do it. Now let's move a little further down the racket to the top of the handle, same grip, and we'll begin in the same starting position, kind of that bazooka position. Only this time we're going to high five the ball and then we're going to put our sword away. So as we give our high five, we'll hold the contact point just for a second and then let the racket fall into our opposite pocket, or sheathe our sword, so to speak. Again, notice how the ball feels coming off your racket. If it seems to spring off your racket, you did it correctly. So do this 20 times again, or until you're feeling comfortable. Feeling good? All right, well, you're doing great because you're starting to feel the contact point and develop that great serve. So we want to begin to make it fluid. We'll just take that little pause out of the motion. Now just focus on being totally fluid and totally relaxed and going up and hitting the ball. The more you do this, the less effort there will be because your body will automatically start to incorporate all of the necessary moves through muscle memory. Now we're going to add this little lasso looping motion that you learned in the Elite Throwing Mechanics video. So start with your racket sticking straight up in the air. We'll call this the trophy pose. Your elbows comfortably away from your body, your elbow roughly parallel to the ground, right around the shoulder. And as you rotate, keep your hand totally relaxed and let the edge of the racket closest to your back fall towards your back. As you come out of your loop, the racket will want to rebound and spring forward. So you'll lead with the opposite edge as you reach and high five the giant. Again, this will happen pretty naturally if you stay relaxed and you focus on throwing the racket head at the ball. If your racket head isn't dropping, try relaxing your grip completely or even letting your pinky and ring finger just come off the racket altogether. That works wonders. And as always, keep coming back to the Elite Throwing Mechanics video to make sure your throwing motion is correct. Go ahead and make your best trophy pose, make your toss, and hit the ball by throwing your racket head at the ball. Let your arm be totally loose and let your follow through naturally and comfortably come to the opposite side of your body, just like you did in step 2. Now to really crank things up a notch, and we're going to start with our palm down up around our shoulder. And as we toss the ball, we're going to accelerate the racket a little. Your racket will naturally speed up to get the timing as you expand upward or reach upward into the hit. You're going to be amazed by how much power you'll get from this drill. So do this one 20 times or until the ball just spontaneously combusts. Now let's go all the way down to the bottom of the racket. And we're going to begin with our hands together in front of your body and simply toss the ball like you learned earlier as you bring your hitting hand into the trophy position from step 3 and catch the ball. Now leave your hitting arm in the trophy position, toss the ball up again, and hit the ball. I call this one catch and release, and it's a critical step in this progression because you're synchronizing your toss with your backswing into the trophy pose. All right, last step. So this is going to allow you to be cracking that flat serve with some good pace. Bounce the ball a few times, come set with your hands in front, and trust all of the previous steps that you just visualized and are practicing. A great serve is rhythmic, it's fluid, it's effortless, and it doesn't nail your doubles partner in the back. Since your unconscious mind is handling most of the work here, just be conscious of your toss and then maybe the contact point as you do these, since these are the two most important elements to hitting a serve that goes in the box. Once those become rock solid, your toss and your contact point, then you can start gradually implementing other elements that we're going to talk about pretty soon, like bending your knees, aiming, and especially looking good. All right, that's key. All right, see, nothing to it. When you break it down into these small bite-sized chunks, it really makes learning the serve simple and fun. All right, so go ahead and go through this progression and spend a lot of time on each step, okay? Feel comfortable, feel happy that you're going through the process, okay? I can't say that enough. If you enjoy the process, the results will happen by themselves, okay? Spend some time on each step, and in the meantime, let's go ahead and go to the next video and talk about the kicker and how to develop a kick serve that's going to jump out of your opponent's strike zone and just confuse them and baffle them. All right, it'll be a lot of fun. See you in the next video.